Start the tying silk the width of 3 or 4 wraps behind the eye of the hook and trap it down with 4 tight overlying wraps before trimming off the end of the silk. Now bring in your gold wire rib and trap it down with 3 or 4 nice tight wraps of silk. It's important here to tie in the rib first, as it gives us a better profile to the finished fly. Same goes for the peacock herl that we're going to use for the body. Take 2 strands of peacock herl and trim off the tips. Now, with your silk, tightly bind in the peacock herl on top of the hook shank and bring your tying silk in tight touching turns down the hook shank to a point somewhere between the point of the hook and the end of any barb. It's important that the fly is quite short in body length. Once you're happy with the length of the fly, then bring your silk in tight touching turns back up the hook shank to a point somewhere between 6 or 7 silk wraps behind the eye of the hook. You want to leave yourself a nice piece of hook shank there to mount in the hackle and head. Now take your 2 strands of herl and gently wrap it over the underbody of silk, taking time to gently brush the herl fibres back towards the hook bend between each wrap. This will give the finished fly a nice, fuller body. When you reach the point where the tying silk is hanging, trap down the peacock herls with 3 firm wraps of silk before trimming off the waist ends of the herls. Now we take our gold wire and we rib the fly body with 4 evenly spaced wraps of wire. These wire wraps are key to the finished look of the fly, so it's important to make sure that the ribbing is symmetrical. Once we're happy with the ribbing, trap down the wire with 3 tight wraps of silk before slowly fretting off the end of the wire. Now, because we have left our herl body well short of the hook eye, it gives us enough room to mount in the hackle as well as the addition of a peacock herl head. Now we take the snipe over cover and gently brush back the fibres to expose the tip of the hackle. Trim the majority of this tip to leave a short tag. Now trap in this tag with 5 tight wraps of silk working towards the eye of the hook. Trimming off any exposed end of the hackle tip. Now taking the hackle stalk in your hackle pliers, gently but firmly take 2.5 to 3 turns of hackle. gently brushing back any stray hackle fibres that might be in the way or sticking out in between each hackle wrap. Remember, this fly was traditionally dressed quite full, so don't skimp on the hackle turns. Once you're happy with the hackle density, trap in the hackle stalk with 3 firm wraps of silk. Now trim off the hackle stalk and trim away any stray hackle fibres that you might find. Now take another strand of peacock herl fibre and again trim off its tip. Now trap this herl fibre in immediately in front of the hackle with 4 tight wraps of silk. We can tidy up the fly by trimming off any waste herl fibres that stick out over the eye of the hook. Now take the peacock herl and place your first wrap of herl immediately in front of the finished hackle. Now, taking as many turns as required, build up a small neat herl head between the hackle and the eye of the hook. If you want to, you can dance your peacock herl up and down the gap between the hackle and the eye of the hook to form a nice herl head. Now trap down the herl with 1 wrap of silk before placing another silk wrap in front of the herl. This cleans away any herl away from the eye of the hook. Trim off the waste end of herl and tidy up any stray ends of hackle. Now to hide any exposed tying silk at the head of the fly, simply take a permanent black marker pen and colour the last inch or so of your tying silk. Now form a small, neat 2-turn whip finish in front of the peacock herl head. Trim off the waste silk and, if need be, tidy up any stray hackle fibres. And there we have Inman's version of the Orl Fly.